Ladies and gentlemen, the holidays are here, and can we be honest with each other? Most gifts are boring, but not this year. If you'll just listen to Uncle Chael, I've got the perfect gift idea. Fume. This is a flavored air device. This is as unique as it is awesome. Fume is not a vape. There's no nicotine. There's no vapor. There's no batteries. You're just gonna get pure, guilt-free flavor. It's perfect for anyone looking to break that bad habit. Or even if you want to just enjoy something fun and relaxing. And with flavors like crisp mint and orange vanilla, trust me when I tell you, there's something for everyone. By the way, this isn't just practical, it's cool. It actually feels good in my hand, and it's made to fidget with. I don't know if you can hear as I'm turning this. It's perfect when you need something to do with your hands. And I haven't even gotten to the best part. This costs a third of what that bad habit does. So here's the play. Go to tryfume.com/Chael. When you get there, use the code Chael. That will get you a free Fume topper when you do the journey pack, and it will give me a little credit. Plus, your name's going to be submitted where you might even win a gold-plated Fume device. Yes, I said gold. This holiday season, you can give the gift of better habits. How would you like to have the best gift and you help somebody? Click on the link below, go to tryfume.com/Chael. Just make sure you thank me. You know, I just got asked a question. I tried to not do this. I actually tried to just mind my own business and drop it, but it's one of those things, on a personal note, I found it hard. And I got asked, would Conor McGregor be released from his contract so he could sign with another MMA promotion? And somewhere, I don't know the context, but Eddie Alvarez got asked about that. And he just said, absolutely not. I know firsthand how hard it is to get out of those contracts. And I should admit for you, I don't totally know the context, but why would that question ever be asked to Eddie? What was the person who asked the question getting at? What were they thinking? And we do hear this in MMA from time to time. It tends to rear its head. Now, the only time in MMA that it can get any traction, and I must tell you, it pisses me off when people talk about that somebody should, themselves should be released from an exclusive contract. Do you understand why we signed that contract? I mean, do you understand what happened? I know in your life you didn't even receive it. Your manager or coach said you don't even have a fax machine. I get it. You probably don't even own the pen that you signed it with, right? Like in your life as a fighter, you showed up to the gym and saw a sign here and you signed and you think that that's it. But those papers did not just magically appear. Somebody sent them from an office that exists 365 days a year. That one office exists. And by the way, they didn't create those papers. Another office exists where those papers were formed. So now we've got a legal office that sent this to our matchmaking/public affairs office, who sent that to you. And in your mind, these have just appeared and these don't mean anything. And whenever I hear about somebody that they should get out, that nobody should hold them to an exclusive agreement, I cannot help but immediately wonder, do you know why we did that in the first place? I mean, you asking to get out of it, do you understand in the first place? Now, this will gain traction with the public. When the evil corporation has the ability to have an exclusive contract, right, it will actually gain traction with the public in an extremely rare event. Whether another promotion does exist, another promotion is wanting, oh, and by the way, can write the check. It's very, very rare. We have had times in our industry where that has happened. That would by no means change the point that it shouldn't even be a discussion that you have this contract, you're under this contract, you should feel an obligation to honor your contract. But in the world of public opinion, you'll get media and pundits and fans alike to support the idea if you have those elements. Another promotion willing to do it and an ability to write the check. Very, very rare. But we're talking about Conor McGregor here. And first off, just so you understand, there is no other promotion. So you fully understand. That doesn't mean that you won't get a promoter to come forward and say that I would. There is no validity and sincerity to that. Okay. Say Chael's wrong. Yes, there is. This promoter's saying it, and it is not just for headlines. He can't write the check. And when you come and you try to say, oh, Chael, yes, he can. No, he can't. And if you want to test that, if you want to know what is the litmus test, whether they can write the check or not, he couldn't even tell you how big that check would have to be. The guy that said he could do it, that's got the promotion, he's got the infrastructure, he's got the willingness, he's got the contact, distribution, the will, and the money, couldn't even tell you what that check is. They don't even know how much Conor McGregor is being paid. And all those things do not have to be true for there then to be a willingness that you should go and do it. For you should be released, or the promoter, the person that built you, shouldn't be the one that's trying to put on that really big fight. It's the biggest fight in the world. And you're going to get a decision maker to go, what do I care? And somehow that's the wrong answer. But I will tell you right now, if you get a whole bunch of referees together and you talk about a really big fight, if they know they're not the one to ref it, they're going to say, they're going to say, what do I care? This would be a very fair question. What would he care? Or you get a whole bunch of announcers together. You start talking about a really big fight, but you let which ones know that if that fight happens, they're not going to be the ones calling it. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a what do I care? Or you get a whole bunch of fighters together, and you tell them about what this mega night of business, oh my God, this is going to be incredible, and you start telling them all the stuff they're going to do, and they start getting their dreams, and they start getting excited, and then you inform them you won't be part of it. They are going, then what do I care? But a promoter is not allowed to do that. A promoter that is also running a career and has his own dreams and visions of these huge events and being a success in their field doesn't get to say, what do I care if there's a big fight, if I'm not the one putting it on. Now, it's the same reaction that everybody else would have, including the fighters themselves. The fighter themselves, if you started getting them dreaming and you told them they were going to do that, and this is what the walkout's going to be, and going to fly in, we're going to have this special thing, and there's a VIP before it, and there's going to be a party after. I mean, you would get them dreaming, you would get them hard, wanting to sacrifice, wanting to willing, but once you inform them they're not going to be part of it, it changes very quickly. And the Conor McGregor idea of could he be released from an exclusive contract, okay? Plenty of guys are. Plenty of guys will call in and they will even convince themselves that a favor was done, that they had a goodwill, that they had a relationship strong enough, when the reality is they're interchangeable mediocrities, just so you know. There's been a couple of guys under exclusive contract, and you got to keep them under their contract because they could have gone and had success and helped to have success in other places. Georges St-Pierre was one of them. Conor McGregor is one of them, and I can't think of the third. There was a period of time where there was stories of Ronda going around. The stories weren't true, but even if we got to the truth, it might have been a case where that was true. There was a period of time when Lesnar existed, but there was never a discussion if he was going to go anywhere else. So I don't know if Lesnar and Ronda would apply to this. On the list where it actually applies, there was a time when George was an important guy under exclusive contract, and you'd want to exercise that. And there is a time where Conor is, and I just don't know if there's a third example. You'll have a number of fighters that will come out and make that claim, and they'd have no way to know. And I share for you the idea that Conor could be released from an exclusive contract. If I am a shareholder, okay, and the only thing that we have in this company that I have shares in, the only thing that we have is our contracts, which is not a concept that is largely understood. Somebody will come in and buy a business, and you'll think they bought the idea. Now, you think that because they've told you that since childhood. Do you have $1 million idea? There is no such thing. There's no idea anywhere that's worth. You got to prove it. You got to have the prototype. You got to prove that you can build this and get this to the market. But if you do that, so when a company sells, when you read about an acquisition, when you read about a merger, when you read about these multi-million-dollar deals, what they're really buying is contracts. They're buying the personnel. They're buying all the people that they have under contract. They're not buying an idea. Now, the reason I tell you that is if I'm a shareholder, and like any company, the only thing that we have is our contracts, and our most monetizable of all of those contracts is getting released from it. I'm going to be looking around going, man, I got a real problem with that. If there's going to be an ROI on this guy and we got a decision that just let that go, and that's going to go somewhere else that I don't have shares in, I'm going to have a big problem with that. But in this case, the conversation that there is someone else out there for McGregor or there's somewhere else to go. So you understand, if you want to be one of the smart marks in the room, that is not true. There is not. If he were released today, just for example, just so you understand, he doesn't, there's not anywhere else to go. The idea that he should be able to is something very different, and I don't think you're thinking that through. I think on a most basic level that you don't understand why that contract would exist in the first place. And before I start to condescend to you, Conor McGregor going somewhere else. What was the time when George St. Pierre did? Wasn't it to fight De La Hoya? But De La Hoya was the promoter. Like you actually, one of these really rare times where you actually had a guy with meaningful distribution that actually had a check count and he had the opponent just because, ta-da, he happened to be all three. And the next time you're ever confronted with that, the idea that somebody would release that is very odd. But before we uncover that, just so you understand, through all the marketing, all the headlines, and all of the fun, all of the wow factors, there is not another promoter. There is not another promoter that is willing, has the ability, or could write the check